Imagine sitting down to write something important. Maybe it's a book, maybe a research paper, maybe a business proposal, or a YouTube script. You stare at the blank screen, you type one sentence, delete it, type another one, and delete that too. And 30 minutes later, you have written nothing. Not because you don't have ideas, but because you're trying to write something perfect on your first try. And that is the biggest mistake most creators make. Because the truth is, your first draft is not supposed to be good. It is supposed to be a disaster. And today I'm going to tell you why the worst first drafts often create the best final work. Before I move ahead, I want to share the book that I am reading this week. It is known as Dear Friends, From My Life, I Write to You in Your Life by Yuan Lee. Soon I will let you know how this book is. Coming back to writing a terrible first draft. So, let me tell you a story about one of my clients. He's a young writer. He once showed me his manuscript. He was nervous and he said, I think my first draft is terrible. I smiled and replied, Good, that means you are doing it right. My client looked at me confused. So I explained to him something that changed how he wrote. And I said, the first draft is where you tell yourself the story, not to the audience, not to the editor, it's just for you. The first draft is where ideas are messy, where sentences are awkward, where paragraphs repeat themselves, where you make your side notes like fix this paragraph later or find a better example, this sounds so stupid, or rewrite this section. That's what exactly is supposed to happen because creativity doesn't come out polished, it comes out chaotic at first. Many people believe that great writers, researchers, and creators they just sit down and produce brilliant product. But that's a myth. Even legendary authors write terrible first drafts. Annie Lamott famously called them shitty first drafts, and she wasn't joking at all. Because the first draft isn't about quality, it is about getting the ideas out of your head onto the page. Think of it like sculpting. You don't start with a perfect statue, you start with a huge, ugly block of clay. Then you shape it, you soften the dough, you cut it, you refine it, you polish it. Your first draft is that block of clay. If there is no clay, no sculpture, no first draft, no book. So, the biggest reason people struggle to finish writing isn't their lack of talent, it is their inner critique. The voice in your head that says that no one will read my book, this idea isn't original, this paragraph is boring. And when that voice shows up during the first draft, it stops you from writing. Here is a trick that most professional writers use. They separate writing from editing. Drafting is chaos, while editing is precision. And if you try to do both the things at the same time, your brain freezes. It's just like trying to drive a car while rebuilding the engine. You won't go anywhere. And you know what? A messy first draft does three powerful things. It unlocks the hidden ideas, it defeats procrastination, and it gives you something to improve. Let me talk about them in brief. So, the first is about unlocking your hidden ideas. Many of the best ideas appear after you start writing and not before. Once the words begin flowing, Your brain starts connecting ideas which you didn't even know about. But that only happens if you let the writing be messy. My writers tell me that while writing, they remembered an incident of their life which they thought they had forgotten. And that's the magic of writing your first draft. The second thing happens that you defeat procrastination, and that's the biggest challenge for many authors. Perfectionism disguises itself as productivity. You think you are working, but you are really just avoiding mistakes. When you allow yourself to write badly, something magical happens. You move forward faster, and in that progress, you beat perfection every time. The third thing is if you don't have anything to write, how will you improve? You can't edit a blank page, but you can edit a terrible page. You can rewrite it, you can cut it, strengthen it, and turn it into something powerful. Every masterpiece starts somewhere as an ugly draft, and this is your chance to shape it. So, here are some simple rules many creators follow. The first one is they write their first draft and make it exist. They don't worry about the grammar, don't worry about the style, they don't worry about sounding smart. They just write. And the second step is the draft of two, where they make it better. Now it is the time to shape the structure, improve the clarity, strengthen the message, cut all the unnecessary parts, and make the stronger message. Add stronger examples. And often, draft 3 is where it becomes great. But again, none of that can happen without your first draft. The messy one, the embarrassing one, the one you almost didn't write. So, here is the final takeaway from me. Every research paper, every book, every speech, every video at some point looked terrible. It was half formed, unclear, full of mistakes. But someone kept going. They rewrote it, refined it, improved it, and eventually it became something powerful. So the next time you sit in front of a blank page and feel stuck, don't try to write something amazing. Write something awful, because the real goal of the first draft isn't brilliance. It is the permission to begin. And once you begin, you can build something extraordinary. Before you go, tell me in comments which was your first idea that turned into a messy draft. If you wish to buy my books, in Stockholm they are available at the English bookshop in Södermalm. You can also visit my website. I will put the link in the comments for you to check about my book coaching services. I would be happy to help you in finishing your nonfiction book.